Luke 17:33. Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it. So Shalom, if you ever needed an example of the instance where the scriptures talk about this, Kyrie, Irving, who once or was standing up for the truth regarding us so-called blacks, all right, so-called Latinos, Native American Indians, even being the true children of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, and was pretty much ostracized for it, scorned, casted out, separated from, and, pretty much publicly castrated for spiritually, who would then see those responses, ultimately by the enemy, the one he was supposedly standing up against, and he would fold or revert from back, pretty much move from that stance, right? Retract all of those things. All because, or simply because, this man, so-called white man, has his paychecks, simply. Holds all those things in the sense that he felt or witnessed in response to him standing up to who we are in his hand. Only to revert to stop that, so his money wouldn't stop and he wouldn't feel those things, such as them cutting his shoe deal and whatnot, only for them to still end it. Only for them to still cut his shoe deal. So this remains undisputed. And before I get into this call, I'm like, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Waha, Ruchach, Wadash. Double honors to the Holy like elder apostles and elder bishops at the Great Millstone Church. Shalom to all the Akim out here under the same doctrine, doing what they need to do in order across the four corners of the globe, nonetheless, and regardless, to the rest of the believers, all of you that's in on this faith of Yahweh Bashmi Shai, the true God of heaven and earth. The true God of the Bible, the true God of us Hebrew Israelites, of the Hebrew Israelites. Thus saith the Holy Bible, the scriptures, the prophecies, and the spirit ultimately. But anyway, so yeah, all that for him to still lose. He did all that, fell back for them to still end his shoe deal, as you see. NBA, Nike ends shoe deal with NBA player Kyrie Irving. Jumping down, Nike has ended its 8-year commercial relationship with professional basketball star Kyrie Irving. The Brooklyn Nets player recently ensnared in a controversy after he posted a link to an anti-Semitic film on social media. And it says Nike's moves come 1 month. Let me do this. So yeah, um, what I want to do is pretty much read this. It's pretty much the backstory on what went on for him. For those that don't know, that may be new regarding that what he was standing up on. Being factually about us being the true Hebrew Israelites, the true children of Israel. And amongst some other things. But let me read this. This is Luke 17:33. Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it. So, and whoever shall lose his life shall preserve it. You know what? So I'll explain that after. So it says, as I explained already with the situation, how he once stood up and on that, and once he seen the flag and pretty much losing his life, he would seek to the lives, the riches, and all this other stuff, the status, and if you will, in this world. Once he seen that slipping, he moved off of that. Because this is what they was doing when he was doing that. It says Nike's moves, because obviously they're completely ended it now, so he still lost out. But it says, this is like the backtrack, and it says Nike's move comes 1 month after the athletic apparel giant suspended its relationship with Irving over a tweet he shared in October. So that's when he was doing it. But anyway, in a one-line statement to CBS News on Monday, Nike said, quote unquote, Kyrie Irving is no longer a Nike athlete. And that was as of yesterday. All right. As of today. And that being December 4th, 2022. Today being obviously the 5th. But anyway, it says Irving's agent, Shetelia Riley Irving, told CBS Money Watch that both Nike and Kyrie mutually decided, quote unquote, both Nike and Kyrie mutually decided to part ways. It says Irving's shoe deal with Nike was one of the NBA's most lucrative deals, generating about 11 million in earnings for him every year. Sportico reported Irving signed his first Nike shoe deal. Let me go back. In 2014, and was scheduled to release a new model that the Kyrie 8s last month, quote unquote. We wish Nike nothing but the best in their future endeavors, Riley Irving said in a statement Monday. Irving posted a tweet Monday that suggested he's relieved to be free from the Nike deal. So it's a tweet from his little Twitter account, quote unquote, but quote unquote. Another quote, it says, and anyone who has spent their hard-earned money on anything, this is what he said, I have ever released, I consider you family, and we are forever connected. He posted this time to show how powerful we are as a community. Now, that's the point, quote unquote. It says, the controversy began October 27th when Irving posted a link on Twitter to the film, quote unquote, Hebrews to Negroes. Wake up, so-called Black America. The synopsis quote unquote. It says the synopsis, the synopsis, Salakia, on Amazon said the 2018 film, quote unquote, uncovers the true identity of the children of Israel. So this is what he was, pushing, standing up for. On obviously we've been pushing the truth, all the way back to, obviously our elder apostles, all the way back to 1 West, and Abba Bivens. But anyway, quote unquote, but the film mentions conspiracy theories about so-called Ish people, the Ish people, the Jamaica Wish people, the Jamaica Wish Foundation people, including false claims that the Jews or the fools dominated the slave trade. That the Jews dominated the slave trade. All right. So they ended up suspending them, that lucrative contract and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So he would end up doing what? He would end up, pretty much seeing all the flack he was getting. He was suspended from the team. We all know that. And then what? He would come back and take pretty much, in order to stop that, take up what they say the protocol was to be for him to, get his stuff back and stop what they was doing to him. His so-called life. And what he went through with it, as they say. All right. And I'm gonna actually read this. The following day, and that's on Joe's side, wrote on Twitter that he was disappointed, quote unquote, that, quote unquote, that Irving appeared to support a film, quote unquote, based on a book of full of anti-Semitic disinformation, quote unquote. And that guy, Joe Tsai, is a so-called Chinese man. So this is how you know these heathens are all in cahoots to destroy us. As the Bible says, that the other nations will be, to the children of Israel, they will all be in cahoots against them. So you got so-called white people who saying they so-called Jews with so-called running everything, they run the whole earth, whatever. As we know, and it's been proven through this situation, the Kanye situation, and the proof been in the pudding. And also the other heathen nations, non-Israelite races, who will work with the so-called white man who says he's a Jew, the Amalekites, as they run and have their hand, with the beast 1 hour in power, pretty much, by being pretty much oppressive to us, the Israelites. So that's how we know we people. But anyway, moving on, it says NBA Commissioner Adam Silver also condemned Irving's tweet. The team suspended Irving for 5 games following the post. It marked the second straight season the Nets have sent Irving away from the team. Last year, the Nets banished Irving when he refused to get, the fang against the cornerback the cornerback 19, making him ineligible to play home games. In a post on his Instagram account after his latest suspension, Irving apologized for tweeting about the documentary. To quote unquote, this is what he said, to all Jewish families, so-called, and communities, and well, they definitely ish, but it says to all Jamaica Wish families and communities that are hurt and affected from my post. I am deeply sorry to have caused you pain, and I apologize, quote unquote. He wrote, quote unquote, I initially reacted out of emotion to being unjustly labeled anti-Semitic instead of focusing on the healing process of my Jamaica Wish Foundation brothers and sisters that were hurt and in which they're not our brothers and sisters, they're the devil. It says they were hurt from the hateful remarks made in a documentary. So, yeah. So when that pressure came, you seen he was losing his life. He sucked to save it, and what ended up happening, he still lost it. Cause now here we are today, Nike in shoe deal with Nike player Kyrie Irving. As you see, Nike parts ways with Kyrie Irving permanently. Nike parts ways with Brooklyn Nets Kyrie Irving on Monday, 1 month after suspending the partnership over the outspoken guard's promotion of a movie that espoused anti-Semitic views, which he will come back, apologize for based off them what ended his life, which would be what a result, which would be him seeking his life. As the scriptures say, talk about, right? But result in what? Luke 17:33, whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it. Only for him to still lose his life. So he stood up against this crap, seen the lively status, the life he had dissipating, and he would seek to get scared. He would seek to save it, only to still, such as things like the Nike contract and all that, only to still lose it. It's crazy, man. They say stand up for something, fall for really everything, fall for anything, you know. So I'll read this again. This is Luke 17:33. Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it. And that's in a general sense. When you're trying to keep this life after you had it and you lost it, and then and pretty much you only gain by being wicked. You're gonna have to pretty much keep it, you know, once you see yourself losing it or have lost it, you're gonna have to get it back the same way in which you even had it in the first place, which was through wickedness. You know? So ultimately it's a dead end. It's a lose-lose situation. Because it's meant for you to lose. You lose yourself trying to get this life, only to still lose this life completely. In every regard, this life is fake in every regard. That's why the scriptures tell us when you go to 1 Corinthians 7:31, and they that use this world, right, to have a life. So in order to get a life here, you gotta seek out one you want first by going into this world. So you pretty much gotta seek out the ways that please the world, right? In order to get that. But it says, so that's when you're using it. But anyway, well, I won't even say that. It says, and they that use this world as not abusing it, because that's really what you do to have all that. You gotta abuse it. You know? You don't just tell a lie or some bull crap just to get a life in this world. You gotta tell a lie, keep telling them. That's how it works. This world is built off. This town is built off iniquity and lies. You know what I'm saying? This world. So to have a life here, like pretty much to be a component here, you have to plug in on that protocol, man. But you still gonna lose it. Why? Because it say woe to that place, meaning destruction. That place is gonna end. That system is gonna end. All right. But anyway, 1 Corinthians 7:31, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. So that's exactly why you will still, after seeking a life, your life here, which is no life at all, what? Lose it. Luke 17:33, whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it. And that's what he's proven, and it's undisputed now. Nike parts, that's what Kyrie Irving has proved, his actions. He sought to seek it and still seek his life. You know, the so-called life. You know, after he seen himself losing it, only to still lose it. Nike parts ways with Kyrie Irving permanently. You know, you can't have anything with this man. You're not supposed to be with this man. We're supposed to be separated. You know, you saw the life out by being pretty much putting yourself right to the so-called white man. You know, who's your enemy first and foremost. You know, who's your enemy? All right. What's that take me here? I'm gonna get this last one. You know, the scriptures tell you about that. You know, and also by you putting yourself in his pocket. That's how you, you know, will get a life here. But that life would never remain because you're never supposed to be with that man. You're supposed to be separated from Esau, being an Israelite, being Jacob. The Lord said we would be separated. So if you got your life by being joined to the so-called white man, right, who is Esau, you're Jacob, what's going to happen, right? Salakia. You're going to, you're going to lose your life. Why? Because that isn't to be. The Lord said, I'll just get it so you can see it, you are to be separated. You know, so it's going to come to end because why? What the Heavenly Father said is the only thing that's going to stand. Period. Nothing else. You know? So you can't be an Israelite Jacob and gain a life by joining yourself unto the so-called white man. Why? This is Genesis 25:22. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord, and the Lord Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, right? And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other. So there you go. And the elder shall serve the younger. All right, so that was Esau and Jacob. So the Lord said we were meant to be separated. All right, that's what he said. So this is Matthew 10:9. What therefore God hath joined together, let not man put asunder. So that's obviously not the case here, because he said let it be separated. So you can't, unseparate something the Lord, put together. You can't put together something the Lord separated. It says, this is Job 12:13. It says, behold, he break it down, and it cannot be built again. He shut it up, amen, and there can be no opening. So there we have it. All right. So if you got your life by being an Israelite and joining yourself to the one whose world this is, and that being Esau, the so-called white man, it ain't gonna work because you already be separated, man. All right. The Lord had broken down, cannot be built again. That's it. It's gonna come to end. So you're gonna lose that life by default. So this is Sirach 10:12, and that'll be it. It says I'm gonna start at 10. Never trust thine enemy, right? Because Esau and Jacob was enemies, but you will get these Israelites get their life by joining themselves unto their enemy. Like that's gonna happen. Like the Lord said, you got these moms that make these they make these covenants with death. These Israelites, that make these covenants with death, as if that's gonna stop that like, as if that's gonna be able to these contracts, basically, as if that's gonna be able to defy it. No, the Lord go bring it to naught. Can't sign to another team when you already with another team. It don't work like that. Isaiah 28 and 16. Therefore, actually 15. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, contracts. Who's death? The so-called white man, Esau, right? And the we being Jacob, us Israelites. So because ye have said we have made a covenant with death and with hell, are we at agreement? That's Esau. The one that can never be satisfied, and it's as death. He that enlarges his, he that is a proud man and transgresses by wine, who is as deaf and can never be satisfied. Habakkuk 2:5, roughly paraphrasing. So, and with hell are we at agreement? Jake, like we join ourselves with him. So this is how we keep our life. It says, when the overflowing score shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. Right? This is verse 18. It says, I'm going to actually start at 17. Judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet, and the hell shall sweep away the refuge of lies. And that's ultimately things are coming to what the scriptures say. And the water shall overflow the hiding place. Exactly. And that's Esau's place. His place is supposed to be made desolate, including him and all that's with him. And by default, that would lead to what? Verse 18. And your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing score shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it. All right. So yeah. So that was just a allude to that, and I'll say that was the last one. But anyway, Sirach 2:10. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee. 12:10. Slack and never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed of him. Take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou had wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust altogether have not been altogether wiped away. See, they still turned on him. You went back to him, so came to him to what? Keep your life, so-called have your life, have a life, and they still, and that being, and they was them was your enemies, and they did what, still took it from you. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither set him at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou remember. At the last, remember my words and be pricked therewith. Man, So that's why you can't seek to save your life, because you're going to lose it. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast? So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him and his sins, who will pity? All right. It says, for a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. He will not tarry. As the whole point is overthrowing you. It says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee in a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find an opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. So anyway, man, so you could go on and on about it, but once again, right, it's all proven that what? This remains undisputed. Luke 17:33. Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it. So, if you want to get a life, quit trying to get one through this devil in this society, and you know, this place is doctrine, you know, because you only gonna die. You gotta get it through. Turn it on this one through your Yahweh Shah, the doctrine of this. Call on like Yahweh Shah, Shalom.